Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Alton West. Today, I will have guests on from the LaGrange Police Department. Also, I will have on some young guests from the Lafayette Society of Performing Arts. So stay tuned for those interviews coming up in just a moment. Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm sitting down with none other than one of our finest in blue from the LaGrange Police Department. I have with me today Sergeant Larry Lemie. Larry, welcome to the show.
Well, I appreciate you giving me the sergeant credentials. I'm a corporal, though.
Corporal, I'm sorry.
That's all right. I'm glad to be here, though.
Well, I just promoted you, though. They got to find out about it, right?
Nothing wrong with that.
Okay, all right, Corporal. I'm sorry. Well, Larry, it's a pleasure to sit down with you. And again, I always like to start out by saying thank you and all the men and women in blue that do the things that you all do to protect and keep our city safe. So thank you very much for your service.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm glad to offer the services to the City of LaGrange. It's a pleasure.
Well, now, Larry, tell us, you've been with the City of LaGrange for a number of years. How many years is it exactly?
I got a little better than 18 years in now.
18 years, okay.
The City of LaGrange. It's been really good, too.
Well, you know what? I started out down in the LaGrange Police Department some years ago, and I must say it was a great place to work then, and I know that under the new administration it's even a better place to work. And
I will definitely say so. It's the only police department I've ever worked for, but you know, I get the opportunity to ride around the state and see other police departments, and I'm proud to work for the City of LaGrange and work for the LaGrange Police Department.
Well, very good. We're very glad to have you on our team too.
Yes.
Now, Larry, tell us about, you work in the traffic division for the police department. Tell us a little bit about about your role there, if you don't mind.
Well, my role at the police department is I do general traffic duties, so I go out and investigate traffic crashes, enforce traffic laws, whether city or local, state traffic laws. That's the main thing that I normally do for City of LaGrange.
Oh, okay. And you know, you're talking about traffic laws, and I know it's, and we've talked about it in the past. I've had Wesley on talking about blocking up intersections. I know as the summer, progresses, and you get a few more cars on the streets, even though school buses are gone. Yep. You got kids out going back and forth to work. What is your suggestion to people when they come up to that intersection? Because I'm still seeing it happen.
The main thing is you have to remember that when you go up to an intersection, before you proceed past the stop bar into the intersection, make sure that A, you have a green light, and B, make sure that there's enough room in front of you to get through that intersection. What you'll typically see is that people don't want to get caught by the red light, so they pile all into the intersection, which you're talking about, blocking the intersection. But the thing is that the traffic in front of them has nowhere to go, so then you're stuck right in the middle of the intersection. And then when you're stuck in the middle of the intersection, traffic going the opposite direction can't proceed through the intersection because you're blocking it. Right. That is a violation of Georgia law, and that is a no-no for sure.
Absolutely. So many times I still see it happening, especially at the Vernon and Bull Street intersection. People pull and it'll be right in the middle. Yep. And the light will change for the traffic to flow south, and
that's correct.
It can't move.
Unfortunately, there's no best practices to time lights. That lights can always change in a way that traffic can always proceed all the way through. So again, the big thing to remember is to don't go past the stop bar until the traffic in front of you has already moved forward enough that you can clear that intersection without tying it up.
That's right. Because ultimately, all these things, blocking the intersection can lead to accidents. And I was talking with you before we came on the air, and I noticed that you track accident trends and things of that nature.
That's
and
correct.
we kind of seen that accidents are on the increase here in the city.
Yes, the accidents are big times on the increase. Just in the City of LaGrange so far this year, we've had 980 wrecks. So far this year, just in the City of LaGrange, and 980 wrecks is way too much, way high for a small city as LaGrange. Now we know that, especially during the daytime peak hours, there's a lot of commuters that are coming, through Troup County, going, north and south and west and east of here, coming through Troup County, so in the City of LaGrange. So we know that there are a lot of cars here, but even with a lot of cars here, we know that there's contributing factors that cause all these crashes. And again, 980 just year to date in the City of LaGrange that's excessive.
That is. We're only 6 months into the year.
That's
you got 980. What's your average per year, you think?
Somewhere around 2,000 or so a year.
Okay.
And a lot of people think, well, it's just a wreck, but it's not just a wreck. You type a lot of resources with the police department, the fire department, EMS having to come.
That's right.
Not including when you have wrecks that you further block and obstruct the roadway, which hinders the motoring public from able to proceed through intersections and get to where they're going. And also the economic impact of insurance rates. Anytime you have a wreck, somebody's got to pay for that wreck and pay for the damages.
That's right.
And we all pay with insurance premiums and stuff like that. So, but the summertime is always, there's always a peak in it. Again, there's more people on the road traveling, going to vacations. Instead of people being, in school, they're out and about driving, going from point to point. So, you see a spike in crashes, but it's a lot here in the City of LaGrange.
Absolutely. Now, Larry, I know that we've had Wesley on. He talked about distracted drivers. In some of these 980 incidents, speed is not the case. What are some of the things that you've seen as contributing factors to some of these incidents?
Well, we know that distracted driving is a big one. Distracted driving is an epidemic nationwide. It's really been bad around here, as in texting, playing with the radio in your car, just talking to another passenger in your car and not paying attention to where you're going is one of them also. Playing with your navigation in your car, your radio channels and stuff like that. Those are all big things. We also know that, and this is a trend that just continues year after year, unfortunately, but following too close and failure to yield. Following too close meaning you run into the back of somebody who stops, at a light or an intersection, something like that, and failure to yield. Such as, you're going to make a left turn at an intersection and, yes, I have a green light, but I don't have a left green arrow. I make the left turn in front of another car and I get struck in the side. Those are our two biggest contributing factors, is falling too close and failure to yield. And the thing is, they're so preventable. I mean, these are 100% preventable. Just pay a little extra attention and watch what you're doing.
Absolutely. All of those things that people can control, and I guess what really gets me a lot of times, I may be driving alone and you have somebody maybe in that left lane and they just kind of, maybe little less than the speed limit, and you go past them and you see them there and they got that phone.
That's right.
And so dangerous.
It is. It's so dangerous. They say that distracted driving, your chances of a crash are 23 times more than normal if you're texting or doing some type of distracted driving. You're 23 times more than normal to have a crash while you're doing that, engage in that distracted driving.
That's right.
And that's a lot.
It absolutely is, and you want to arrive alive, the 55 arrive alive.
Yeah, that's it. Hadn't heard that one in a while.
That's right, arrive alive, 55.
That's
so
right.
You still need to, just those common sense things. And, and even in common sense things, sometimes we need to have the proper vehicle maintenance when you're getting ready to get on the road, because it is the summertime, people will be traveling.
That's
What
right.
are some tips that you can give motorists?
Well, what I would recommend is vehicle maintenance is a big thing that we can contribute to a lot of wrecks. You hear about it every year. You hear about, especially like church vans and stuff like that, tires blow out, stuff like that. They have these rollover crashes. But vehicle maintenance is really big because if your brakes aren't maintained properly in your car, obviously you can't get stopped properly. If you have underinflated tires, it causes a couple things. Your tire is more susceptible to having a blowout, which causes you to lose control of your vehicle. Also, it increases your fuel mileage goes down when you don't have properly maintained tires. Another thing a lot of people don't think about until it rains is your wiper blades. The recommendation is you change your wiper blades every 6 months on your car. A lot of people, they wait till it storms and they can't see. If you can't see where you're going when it's raining,
That's right.
You're more susceptible to have a crash. They say, well, wipers didn't work, or that I couldn't see. Those are some things also to keep in mind. Tires are a big thing. During the summertime, the heat that's generated in tires that makes them a lot more susceptible to blowing out if they're not maintained properly. The recommendation is that if your tires are more than 5 years old, you should replace them. Regardless of the amount of tread that's on them, you should replace them every 5 years because they dry rot. And when they dry rot, they more likely to explode or blow out, is what people say.
Right.
And you read the news anywhere across the United States, you see a car crash because they had a blowout. And so it can be dangerous.
And again, all common sense things that people can do, especially like say summer's coming in, people are going to be on the road traveling or back and forth to various jobs.
That's right.
And another thing that I notice sometimes, and it happens to me when I'm driving up the interstate heading home, sometimes I get a little sleepy, Larry.
That is right. We know that sleeping and driving is worse than driving drunk or being under the influence of whatever it may be. Sleeping and driving is an epidemic that, the thing is, it's really hard to track statistics with sleeping and driving or being sleepy, because most people won't admit that I fell asleep and I crashed, okay? So the statistics out there we know are not correct, but it's very high. Whenever you're sleepy, it's worse than driving drunk. And also, people need to keep in mind, we're all busy nowadays, we work a lot. But the new standard is, they say adults should have at least 7 hours of sleep at night, and teenagers should have at least 8 hours of sleep at night. And we know that helps, greatly, keeps your your body to where you can pay attention better. Anytime you doze off just for a second, that could be what it takes to crash. And we don't want to do that.
That split second.
That's
could be,
it.
Absolutely. Well, Larry, it's always a pleasure to sit down with you. And again, I want to just say thank you for coming on the show, and thank you for what you and the rest of the team do there at the LaGrange Police Department to keep our streets and our communities safe. And by all means, we definitely want to have you come back on about mid-summers. Kind of give us some updates, some things that you see happening, and just kind of give some words of encouragement to our drivers for the summer, okay?
Well, thank you very much. We're glad to come back.
All right, Larry, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for more City Weekend just a moment.
Just what you're hungry for. It's in downtown LaGrange. You have 17 restaurants to choose from, and each has its own personality, from chef-driven establishments to life on the casual side. Celebrate, create traditions, make new friends, discover new tastes. Downtown LaGrange is simply delicious. So come on down.
Welcome back to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. Now I'm being joined by some young actors here in our community. One who has been on the show before. I want to say, first of all, welcome back, Charlie. And I also want to welcome, for the first time, Walker Kemp. Ladies and gentlemen, both of you all, welcome to the show. Well, now, on the show, we have to do a little talking back and forth. I'm going to ask you all some questions in just a moment, okay? Now, Charlie, I know that you've been on before. You all are getting ready to put on the presentation, Disney Aladdin Jr. Tell me a little bit about your role, if you don't mind.
Well, I play Jasmine, the Sultan's daughter, which is the princess, and she longs to be free, but she's having to marry a suitor that she doesn't even know, and she just wants to be free.
She just wants to be free. She don't want to be tied down to some guy that she don't know, right? If I were you, I would just run off. I wouldn't
That's
even.
what she does.
That's what she's going to do, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, look, I'm gonna ask Walker. I think this is your first time being on the show with me, Walker. So I want to just say welcome to the show once again. And tell me, what is your role in the?
I play Aladdin.
Ah.
Yes, and Aladdin's a guy. He's poor, very poor, and he's just a criminal because he steals everything because he's poor.
Okay.
And then so when Jasmine runs away, as she just mentioned, he bumps into her, and that's how they meet and they fall in love.
Ah.
And then, he's not a prince, so she can't marry him.
That's right. That's right. I bet it's going to be a wonderful play. Let me ask you, ladies and gentlemen. I know that Charlie, you've been acting, I think, since you were 5, correct?
Yes, sir.
What is it about it that makes you want to continue to do this? What do you enjoy about it the most?
I just love singing and acting, really.
Okay.
I just find it very fun, and it's just what I love to do.
All right. Well, very good. Walker, what got you involved with the acting role?
Well, I just enjoyed it, and like my Kitty and Charlie, my cousins, she's my cousin.
Okay. All right.
They were doing it, and I saw how great of a time they had when they were doing it, so I decided to try it, and I loved it, so I've just done it ever since.
Okay, well, very good. And we're going to talk about when the play is going to be presented here. But tell us a little bit about your day. How does your day begins when you get there to the theater? And we're going to talk about where it's going to be held. Talk about a little bit about how your day starts.
Well, first we go take our lunchbox to the fridge.
Oh, the first important thing, get that out of the way, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And then we warm up and stretch with our choreographer, Madison.
Okay, all right. What about for you, Walker? Pretty much the same?
This basically.
Oh, okay.
But after we stretch, we go to vocals with
Stacy?
Stacy Hardigree.
Okay, all right.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
very good. Now, and I know that this is, I think it's a 2-week camp that you all are attending. Is that correct?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
ma'am.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Okay. That's okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. And then this is during the summer. What's you all's hours? How long do you all work out there?
We go 4 to 10.
Okay.
I mean, not 4 to 10.
10 to
10 to
4.
4.
You're working the second shift. That's right, Charlie. You're in the first shift. I guess walking. Charlie's working the second shift. So you're there, and it's pretty intense from what I understand, right?
Yeah.
Now
Yes,
let me
sir.
ask you. Okay, you guys just finished up school. You're now in a very intense 2-week, rehearsal and things like that. Why do you all want to be involved? I heard Walker talking about because his family and friends and Madison. I mean, your cousins and things like that all involved. But what do you want? Would you encourage other young people to get involved with things of this?
Yes, sir. I would.
Why would you encourage them to be involved?
Because it's just a fun experience, and you can meet lots of new friends, and you can just have fun and see what it's like.
Okay, very good. What do you think, Walker? Would you encourage your friends to be involved?
Yes, I would.
Okay. Why? Would you tell them why?
Because it's like good for future preferences. Like when you get older and you have to go to interview for a job, like you know how to like speak clearly and know how to present yourself. As if you never did any of these things, they're good life lessons for like how to do it and calm your nerves if you're about to go present. or something
Okay,
like that.
very good. And I can tell it's paying off because you're very calm and cool collective over there. Aladdin. Now let's talk about when is this play going to be presented and where is it going to be presented?
June
June
17th,
17th at
the Price Theater.
At the
7
Price.
o'clock
Okay.
p.m.
At the Price Theater, 7 o'clock p.m.
And then June 18th at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m.
Okay, so there's 2 times on the 18th, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
What's the charge for people to come in?
We're not really sure.
Not really sure. I tell
Yeah.
you what, I think we're going to have some of the other characters going to come
Yes,
on
sir.
here, and we'll ask them that question at that time. Okay. All right. Now, I understand that you all this is a collaborative effort between I think the young singers and others. How is it working with the young singers for you all?
Well, it's going good.
It's going good.
It's not really affecting anything.
It's sort of helping us out.
It's
'cause
helping us out,
We
but, like-
learn more how to sing our vowels and good diction.
Okay.
When I said it's not really affecting anything, I meant like when some people like it's not like there's a group over here when they're one group and then there's a group over here. We're really all together.
Working together.
Yeah,
Okay, I
that's what I
understand.
meant.
That's a good way to clean it up. Okay, all right, very good. Well, let me ask you, as we get ready to wrap up here, because I think we got a couple of other characters going to come on and talk a little bit more about it. I think that you're going to be singing a song for Charlie during the play. What song will you be singing?
We're actually singing it together.
Okay.
It's A Whole New World.
Oh my. You know what? I almost wanted to ask you just to give us just a little bit of it. Can you guys do that? I tell you what, I won't put you on the spot, but before we finish up the show, I may ask you guys to come back and give us just a little bit of it, okay? How about
Okay.
that?
Yes,
This
sir.
is good.
Okay, all right. Well, I think I have a couple more individuals I want to bring up and get their perspective, but I want to definitely say thank you both for being on the show today, and I hope that the general public will come out and support Aladdin and also Jasmine in the Disney Aladdin Jr. So I want to thank both of you all for being on the show today.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for
Ladies and
having
gentlemen,
us.
Thank you for being here once again. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for more City Week in just a moment. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now I'm sitting down with Bailey Orr and Jackie Mormon. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, excuse me, I had on just a moment ago Charlie Key and also had on Walker Kemp, and I think they were the good side of the play. And I think now I'm going to talk to the not as good side of the play characters here. Bailey, if you don't mind, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself, if you don't mind.
Well, my parents, my mom teaches dance at LSPA,
Okay.
and then my dad works with insurance.
And what is his name? I think that name.
Matador.
Matador. Okay. You look just like your dad, too.
Thank you.
Now, let me ask you, how long have you been in the acting career?
Well, I started last year in the fall.
Uh-huh.
I started in 3rd grade.
In the 3rd grade. Do you enjoy it?
I enjoy it a lot.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm going to ask you a little bit about your character in just a moment, but I'm going to go over to Jackie Mormon, another name here that kind of rings in our community. Related to anybody, Jackie?
My mom is Sarah Mormon. She's an 8th grade teacher at Long Came Middle School. And my dad is Jack Mormon. He's the principal over at Hollis Hand.
That's right. Jack and I are good friends, go way back. Now, let me ask you about your acting career. How long have you been in acting?
I've been doing like little plays and stuff since around like kindergarten and stuff, but I got really, really into it around 2nd grade.
Okay, all right. Well, let me ask you now, both of you all, why are you involved with the acting career? What is it about that inspired you to want to become an actor and to participate in these plays? Bailey, anything particular?
When I went to New York when I was 8, and I saw my first Broadway show, I met Sutton Foster, and she really inspired me to act.
Okay, well, very good. When you were 8, all right, very good. Jackie?
I've always liked the Broadway style of music, the big showbiz kind of music, and the soft, sweet, and pretty stuff too.
Okay.
And I've always wanted to do that myself and grow up to be a performer or something of that type.
Okay, well, very good, very good. All right, so we had Aladdin and Jasmine on just a moment ago. Now, Bailey, I know that you're going to be playing the role at Ergon. Iago, okay. Tell us a little bit about that character.
Iago figures things out. He really won't be quiet if he knows something.
Okay. A tell-all, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
He's smart. It's a fun character.
Okay. Probably pretty mischief too if he's very
Yes.
smart, isn't he? Okay.
He's quite mischievous.
Okay. Any little secrets or things that you want to tell us about that he's going to figure out?
He's going to figure out who Prince Ali is and why Aladdin escaped from the dungeon pretty much, and how Ali is Aladdin.
Okay.
He's also going to figure out why we can't just take care of Aladdin because of the genie.
Okay. Okay. So we won't give too much away, so they have to come and see the show, okay?
Yes.
All right. And Jackie, tell us a little bit about your character.
I play Jafar, the kind of big, mysterious, main bad guy kind of dude. He has worked for the royal family for almost all his life. And he's fed up with playing nursemaid, keeping up with all the thieves in Agrabah, all the criminals. He's fed up with having to take orders and bow down to the Sultan. So he decides that he's going to become the Sultan. Because the princess is very indecisive about what prince she's going to marry or if she even has to. So he goes down to the ancient text, the ancient laws of Agrabah, and desecrates them, added a new law saying that if she doesn't get a prince to marry her in a certain amount of time, that the Sultan's right-hand man, the Jafar, would become betrothed to the princess and also become the Sultan.
Oh my.
So
he's a bad guy.
He's a pretty bad guy.
He's a pretty bad guy, seems like there. Well, let me ask you now, ladies, and both of you all, the ages of the young people, because I hear Bailey say when she went to New York when she was 8, 3rd grade. What are the age ranges of the cast members that you all are participating with?
2nd through 8th.
2nd through 8th graders we're talking about here, right? Let me ask you, like you all were inspired, why do you think some of them, and I know you can't speak for them, but do you think they perhaps have some of the same reason for wanting to act?
I think most of my friends would just do it as a time waster to get out of the house and just not be playing their PS4 all day.
Okay, all right, well, very good. I mean, you're doing something productive with yourself during the summer. Now, a moment ago, we were talking with Charlie and Walker, and again, if you all don't mind, and I think Jackie, I think you have the flyer there next to you. Tell them the dates again and the location, if you don't mind.
It is June 17th at 7 p.m. and June 18th at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m.
Okay.
It's at the Grange College Price Theater because the LSPA place is getting renovated right now.
Okay.
It is $5 for admission, and for tickets you can visit the www.lspaarts.org.
Okay, well, very good. Now, general public, you want them to come out and support you guys. Now, I know that Bailey has been in other productions, and I think, sounds like you said you've been in other productions. Is there one to follow this one for the summer, to have something to look forward to for the summer? Is there another one that you all know of at this time that you can share?
I don't think so.
Don't think so?
There might be.
They're doing Grease.
Okay.
Oh yeah, they're doing the more older people are doing Grease.
The older people,
Yeah,
the older people are doing
people
Grease.
doing
Okay, all right. So we definitely want to come out and support the older people too, right? All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all both for being on the show today. And again, that is going to be June 17th at the Price Theater, and also June the 18th at Price Theater. The admission is $5, and you can go online and get your tickets at lspaarts.org. So come on out and support our young people. Bailey and Jackie, want to thank both of you all for being on the show today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for more City Week in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining for City Week this week. My guests have been from the LaGrange Police Department, Corporal Larry Lemay, as he talked about not becoming a distracted driver this summer as we drive over the city streets of LaGrange. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I had on from the Lafayette Society of Performing Arts, I have on Charlie Key, Walker Kemp, Jackie Moorman, and Bailey Orr as they talked about the upcoming Disney Aladdin Jr. that will be taking place on June the 17th and 18th at the Price Theater. So make sure that you come out and support these young individuals in this very worthwhile cause. And as stated earlier, they have come back, a couple of them, to give us a rendering of A Whole New World. Here I have with us Charlie Key and Walker Kemp. Please enjoy these talented young individuals.
I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? I can open your eyes, take you wonder by wonder, over, sideways, and under, on a magic carpet ride.
A whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no, or where to go, or say we're only dreaming.
A whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew. But when I'm way up here, it's crystal clear.
Now I'm in a whole new world with you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next week again on City Week.
What do you know about operating a boat? Hi, this is Sergeant Jim Bradfield with DNR Law Enforcement in Troup County. Have you heard of the 100-foot law? What is the minimum age of a boat operator? Can you drink alcohol on a boat? Take a boater education course and you'll know the answer to these questions and a lot more. Also remember that anyone born after January the 1st, 1998 must take an approved course to operate a boat on Georgia waters. Information on classroom, online, and home study courses is available at gadnrle.org.